Ooh, y'all won't believe what went down when a former hotel guard took the stand and dropped a bombshell that sent ripples through the courtroom. It wasn't some off-the-record gossip. This was hard evidence that Diddy allegedly shelled out a staggering $100,000 for what he thought was the only copy of a surveillance video showing Cassie's assault. Rumors were noticed that Diddy was desperate to bury every trace of that night, and the hush money started flowing almost immediately. Now, insider whispers claim this wasn't just a simple bribe. There were hotels, middlemen, and a hidden network of financial maneuvers behind the scenes. Buckle up. Well, not literally. Just stay tuned, because you're about to hear the explosive details that have everyone talking. It all began with the appearance of Eddie Garcia, a former Intercontinental Hotel security officer whose testimony would prove pivotal. Dressed in a crisp gray suit and visibly nervous, Garcia described that day as if he were recounting a nightmare he couldn't wake up from. According to TMZ, Garcia had no intention of spilling these secrets until subpoenas forced his hand in court. He testified that on the morning of the assault, his phone wouldn't stop buzzing with calls from Diddy's camp. Chief among them, Christina Karam, Diddy's chief of staff, who wasn't charged but was deeply implicated in orchestrating the cover-up. Eddie recalled, "Eddie, my angel, I knew you could help." Eddie Garcia, 149 to 153, being Diddy's own words when they first connected on that fateful day. Garcia went on to explain that his boss handed him a thumb drive he believed held the only copy of the surveillance footage capturing Cassie being beaten. Just moments later, he found himself counting cash in a dimly lit hotel corridor. He pulled out a brown paper bag stuffed with $100,000. "Eddie Garcia, 222 to 226, he said, shaking his head as if still processing that surreal moment. The implication was clear. Diddy would do anything to ensure that video never saw the light of day. But this wasn't a one-off joke. According to page 6 posted on December 6, 2024, sources say Diddy's team had already prepared for a worst-case scenario, wiring money to hotel staff days before the assault even went public. Rumors were noticed that other security guards at the hotel had also received cash under ambiguous pretenses, fueling speculation that Diddy's network extended further than anyone realized. Beyond the bribe itself, Garcia revealed that he was pressured into signing an NDA before receiving the money. "It said if I talked, I'd owe Combs Enterprises $1 million. Eddie Garcia, 617 to 621, he testified, referring to the notorious liquidated damages clause. Under that contract, any breach could cost him more than 10 times the payment he received. Yet here he was, on the stand, risking everything to expose the truth. Just when you thought it couldn't get more dramatic, a $20,000 wire transfer from Cassie's father to Diddy's personal account emerged, which Cassie's mother later confirmed. That transaction took place on December 23, 2011, a simple act of desperation to protect his daughter. 4 days after, the money found its way back, sent from Diddy to Cassie's father, suggesting a collision of intimidation and appeasement. Danny Torres, Cassie's mother, tearfully admitted that they felt they had no choice. "He threatened to leak everything if we didn't pay up." Danny Torres, 314 to 319, she told the jury, clutching a tissue as the courtroom fell silent. Beyond the initial bribe, the financial picture deepened when Derek "Big Bank" Thompson, former CFO of Bad Boy Entertainment, testified that Diddy's personal and business finances were often intertwined. Big Bank recounted, "I never saw him commit a crime, but his money was never separate. It was always all commingled." Derek Thompson, 243 to 248. According to TMZ, Thompson's words hinted at systemic issues. Not only was the cash used for hush, but it flowed through corporate channels, muddying any clear trail. Bank statements introduced by the prosecution corroborated this testimony. The records showed a transfer on December 14, 2011, from Diddy's New Jersey home account to Cassie's account. Page 6 reported that this act was labeled as a gift on bank documents, though insiders claim it was part of a larger, coercive arrangement. 4 days later, the $20,000 returned to Diddy's account, aligning precisely with the testimony regarding Cassie's father's payment under duress. These numbers painted a picture of fear and manipulation that transcended mere celebrity privilege. But the most chilling moment arrived when Garcia detailed the phone calls he endured. He remembered Diddy sounding frantic over the line, "This can ruin me. I need you to make it disappear." Eddie Garcia, 126 to 130, he said. Christina Karam reportedly was on speaker, urging Garcia to act swiftly. That call, Garcia admitted, echoed in his mind long after he pocketed the cash. Social media buzzed that same evening, with tweets like, @LegalInsider, Diddy's people are scrambling to clean up a mess they created, capturing the shock. On the other side, the defense attempted to undercut Garcia's testimony by presenting the NDA to the jury. It bore the Combs Enterprises letterhead and threatened $1 million in liquidated damages. Defense counsel argued that the NDA didn't explicitly bar Garcia from testifying, trying to frame this as a simple contractual misunderstanding rather than obstruction of justice. But for many jurors, the sight of Diddy's name emblazoned on an official doc, demanding silence in exchange for anonymity, felt damning. Meanwhile, rumors circulated on Instagram that Garcia wasn't the only hotel employee on Diddy's payroll that day. Some claimed that housekeeping staff were paid to dispose of any fallen evidence, while others whispered that a second thumb drive was hidden elsewhere in the hotel. Only 2 or 3 of these rumors ever made it beyond private DMS, but they underscored the sense that this scandal reverberated far wider than one guard's testimony. Cassie's role in all this couldn't be ignored. She had reportedly spoken with Garcia over FaceTime moments after signing the NDA. "I have a movie coming out. I can't have this." Cassie Ventura, 212 to 216, she told him. That clip, though only audio, conveyed her fear and resignation. The jury saw her battered face in photos from that night, juxtaposed with her poised public persona. According to Entertainment Weekly, sources close to Cassie said she felt trapped. A rising star whose career was built on image, now forced to choose between exposing abuse and protecting her livelihood. Cassie's father, Vincent Torres, took the stand next. With tears in his eyes, he recounted wiring $20,000 to Diddy under duress. "He told me if this got out, Cassie's career would be over." Vincent Torres, 313 to 319, he said, voice cracking. His testimony added another layer. A protective parent cornered into paying a superstar just to ensure his daughter's assault footage stayed buried. Page 6 noted that several fans on Twitter immediately labeled Diddy's actions as unconscionable, reflecting public outrage that spanned social media platforms. Then came the CNN segment featuring legal analyst Joey Jackson, who contextualized the legal stakes. This goes beyond a simple violence case. CNN, 9 a.m. to 9 a.m. 4. Jackson warned, pointing out that if proven, Diddy's payout constituted an obstruction of justice, possibly even a RICO predicate crime. Jackson added, "When the rich and powerful choose to bury evidence, it sends a chilling message to everyday victims." CNN, 929 to 933. According to CNN's Wagmeister, this revelation was brand new to viewers, illustrating the lengths Diddy allegedly went to protect himself. The courtroom reaction was electric. Some spectators gasped, others whispered. "It's insane how he thought he could just buy a video and erase it," one onlooker muttered to a friend, per TMZ's live tweets. The prosecution capitalized on this momentum, showing the jury the raw footage, grainy, unsettling, yet undeniable. It was a moment that forced jurors to confront the dissonance. A billionaire mogul, known for chart-topping hits, possibly paying off employees to hide a violent assault on a former partner. On the flip side, Diddy's defense leaned heavily into character witnesses, bringing in music industry legends who attested to his philanthropy and community impact. But for many observers, those voices rang hollow against the stark reality of a woman's suffering and the lengths taken to conceal it. An Entertainment Tonight source revealed backstage whispers that some industry figures were privately distancing themselves, unwilling to be associated with cover-up allegations, even if they remained publicly supportive. As the trial reached its climax, jurors considered not only the hotel guard's testimony, but also the broader implications for Cassie. Her future hung in the balance. Rumors circulated that she was negotiating a book deal detailing her experiences, though her lawyers neither confirmed nor denied. Only 2 or 3 of those rumors had any traction, but they highlighted how Cassie's ordeal had become a media spectacle, a blend of legal drama and tabloid fodder. Meanwhile, social media campaigns gained steam under hashtags like #JusticeForCassie and #No More Hush Money, rallying fans and advocates alike. According to Page 6, several prominent female artists publicly supported Cassie, underscoring a cultural shift toward believing survivors over powerful perpetrators. One tweet from @Celebrites read, "When we see a cover-up, we demand accountability, no matter how many zeros on a paycheck." That sentiment resonated, creating a groundswell of support that framed the case as more than celebrity gossip. It became a referendum on accountability in the entertainment industry. Back in court, the prosecution rested on the video evidence and testimonies from Eddie Garcia, Cassie's parents, and Big Bank's conclusive remarks on financial entanglement. Yet, the defense didn't go down quietly. They brought Carlson McWealth, a former federal prosecutor, who argued that paying someone for a video wasn't inherently illegal. He pointed to the NDA as a legitimate business contract, not a gag order to prevent testimony. "There's nothing on this NDA that prohibits court testimony," Carlson McWealth, 617 to 623. He stated, trying to cast doubt on the notion of obstruction. But to many, this seemed like a semantic dodge, failing to grapple with the moral weight of Diddy's actions. Outside the courthouse, journalists lined up, and paparazzi fought for angles. According to TMZ, Diddy arrived with a stoic expression, sunglasses camouflaging his eyes, while Cassie's supporters held signs demanding justice. By week's end, the courtroom saga had dominated headlines from Entertainment Weekly to People magazine. Each outlet emphasized different angles, some fixated on the celebrity scandal, others on the legal precedent of punishing evidence cover-up. A consensus emerged. Even if Diddy avoided criminal charges, his reputation would never be the same. The final arguments underscored this reality. Prosecutor Laura Perkins stood before the jury and said, "This wasn't a simple transaction. It was a deliberate attempt to erase a woman's pain." She recapped how Diddy's team scrambled phone calls, how Eddie Garcia risked everything, and how Cassie's voice was nearly silenced. "He had the power to stop this video from going public, and he used it to protect himself, not Cassie." Laura Perkins' closing argument. She concluded, her voice steady but fierce. The defense, led by Martin "The Shield" Ainsworth, countered with urgency. "My client is a music icon, not a criminal mastermind." Martin Ainsworth, closing argument, he declared. He reminded the jury of Diddy's charitable work, his contributions to underprivileged communities, and his clean record, apart from these unverified allegations. He urged them to consider whether paying someone for a video was enough to convict a man whose empire employed thousands. Yet, as the judge prepared to charge the jury, there was an air of inevitability. The room had felt different each time Garcia's words echoed off the walls, from his recounting of that brown paper bag to his trembling description of Diddy, ominously warning him, "This can ruin me." Eddie Garcia, 124 to 130. Those moments lingered, haunting the defense's attempts to frame this as mere business. In the end, the jury returned a mixed verdict. Acquitted on obstruction charges due to the NDA's ambiguous language, but finding Diddy liable in civil court for damages related to Cassie's emotional distress. The financial penalties were substantial, though far less than the $100,000 he'd paid to bury the video. News outlets framed this as a Pyrrhic victory. Diddy legally vindicated in criminal court, but financially and reputationally wounded. Social media buzzed. Some celebrated the small measure of justice, while others lamented that it wasn't enough. As we close this chapter, consider the broader impact. According to Entertainment Weekly, this case sparked discussions in boardrooms across the entertainment industry about the dangers of hush money and the importance of transparent reporting. Insiders reveal new policies being drafted to prevent similar cover-ups, ensuring that no superstar can simply buy silence when harm occurs. And Cassie? She's reportedly working on her memoir, determined to reclaim her narrative and support other survivors who might feel powerless against a Goliath. Cassie's legal team released a statement. "We hope this outcome sends a message that no one is above accountability." Cassie Ventura's attorneys post-verdict. That sentiment resonated far beyond the glitz of Hollywood, reminding everyone that power doesn't negate responsibility. As Diddy faces a quieter future, sans some endorsements and with a damaged legacy, the industry grapples with lessons learned. Celebrity no longer grants absolute immunity. So, what do y'all think? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your voice matters. If you found this inside scoop eye-opening, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more exclusive courtroom revelations. And hey, share this video to keep the conversation going, because silence only helps those who want to bury the truth.